connecting. I don't know why you don't leave him. Girl, you barely talking, but you act like you be cheating. Loyalty's the unloyal, niggas never understand.
Alright everybody, what is the crack? It's Dylan from Mabfield here, joined by Jack as per usual.
Yeah.
So we're in the new gaff, got a new studio set up, and we've got our first guest.
Yeah.
It's been a while in the making, but really happy to have you here. So go ahead and
Yo.
introduce yourself there.
I am Jordan Adetunji, and I'm here from Belfast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sick to have you. We've met a couple times before, and
Yeah.
I feel like we nearly got this organised a few times, but now
Yeah.
it's the right time.
Yeah,
You
now's
know
the
what
right
I
time.
mean?
Yeah.
It's all about timing now. I always say.
Exactly.
So how you been
Personally.
recently? You've been chilling, you've been working. What's going on?
Man, I've just been working on new music. I'm making sure the content that I'm going to put out is just the right quality for people. Definitely, because I've been away for a while. Obviously, I dropped the freestyle, but now it's starting to drop proper content. Yeah.
It's interesting because like when me and you were talking about your music and stuff before, it's hard to know what direction you were going to go in, because you do have sort
Exactly.
of a varied taste of stuff out there at the
Yeah.
moment.
Because you've been doing the sort of like Afrobeat thing.
Yeah, the Afrobeat thing. That's on purpose. That's all on purpose. Because I feel like the reason why I do the Afrobeat is because that's a part of my culture, obviously, because I'm part Nigerian. So obviously bringing the Afrobeat style into it is a main thing that I always do, and show that's the side of me that I can do. So now I'm going to start showing my other sides, and hopefully it will show my full side as a whole and my full sound. And that's what I'm trying to bring out.
Yeah, so like when you were growing up, what sort of influences did you have essentially?
No, see, my influences are messed up because I grew up on having Sky,
Yeah.
like most people. But I was always on the music channels. And the channels that I actually enjoyed, because I enjoyed music videos, was there was one called, there was MTV, and there was Channel AKA. So obviously the grime. So I started listening to things like Chip when he first came out.
Yeah.
N-Dubs. I loved the N-Dubs, man.
Music channel they had, and you could like pay to text in, and you could like do you remember this?
Yeah, I swear it was like Channel U or something. Yeah. I had that. I used to watch Channel U all the time, so I was always on grime. But with that, I used to listen to N-Dubs, like I said, and Dappy. I had an obsession with Dappy like for so long. But then on my music side, also like listening to MTV, one of my favorite rappers was Busta Rhymes.
Facts, he's unreal.
Unbelievable.
Unreal.
Unbelievable. Busta Rhymes, and then the typical Tupac. I listened to Eminem. I was obsessed with Eminem. Eminem is just fire. Who else did I have?
But how long were you living in London for?
I lived in London for 10 years. So I've lived in London the same amount of time I've lived in Belfast.
Right.
So
you
that
can hear
explains the accent. But you can hear it, can't you?
Yeah.
It's like mixed with both. So yeah, I've lived in London since I was up to 10. Then I lived in Belfast 10 years. So I'm 20. Hopefully that says my age. Yeah.
You've got like an absolute metric fuck ton done.
Yeah.
In a short time. Like, cause I assumed you were gonna be older. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
'cause, like we were even talking about how you sort of got attention with music earlier.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, 'cause that's interesting though.
Yeah.
Because that's a very like. I feel like that was a period of time where the method you used
Yeah.
worked for a short period, but you really utilized it.
Exactly. Like, obviously I started on Facebook, which some people know. Obviously I started posting freestyle videos on Facebook. I started with the covers and adding my own mixes into it. And people in the community, like my friends, like they just really took on to it. Like previously, years before that, I was actually still putting up, I used to put up singing videos. Oh goodness. I used to put up these singing videos to like One Direction, man. Like, but I was fans of that. Like, see, like a lot of artists or rappers would be like, I don't listen to that. No, I was into that. Like when I was watching them sort of guys, I love music. I love every piece of genre. Like I was into like I was into a lot of rock. So I was into Nirvana. I was into Black Sabbath. Like these are the things that I took to. I took into Jimi Hendrix at such a young age. Like listening to these sort of artists, it just influences everything that I do. And plus, I was a big, massive Michael Jackson fan.
Yeah.
Big, massive Michael Jackson fan.
It can only help though. Like,
Yeah.
see interviews with massive artists.
Exactly.
And they talk about their favorite albums or whatever that came
Exactly.
out. And it's always stuff that you wouldn't expect.
Exactly.
Stuff outside of the genre that they're usually recording.
Exactly. And that's what shows why my sound is so diverse, but it will come. It comes together. It will come together, and people will understand exactly what I'm trying to do and put across. Because my sound is fused in with rock, funk, grime, because that's what I listen to. You know what I mean? Like that's what I listen to my whole life, and listening to people like Jimi Hendrix doing crazy riffs and stuff like that. Like I like to add that into my music as well, and just give it a different flavor. Yeah.
Because we were talking about that when you perform live, you have the whole band with you.
Yeah, I have the full live band. Shout out to my team that sort that out. Full band, and they're actually Burner Boy's backing band. Okay. Yeah. So I use Burner Boy's backing band, and I also have a local band that I use here. Great guys, and it's fantastic. And every time we play together, it's just a crazy experience on stage.
Now, how often do you rehearse for those guys?
We rehearse every couple of weeks before a show, so we make sure that everything is tight and perfect, because a lot goes into my set. I make sure to put a lot into the set and make it creative. I want to give people an experience, you know what I mean? Like that's why I add in things like color. I add a lot of color and visual elements, and I try to make it just like any other project, like a music video. Like I'm doing a music video on stage. Like that's how I see it. I see these things as everything is art. Every single small thing that I do has to be art.
Do you do the visuals yourself, or do you work with someone else most of the time?
I do most of the stuff myself. I do a lot of things on with the visual ideas that go into my sets. I come up with it, but the creating of visuals, I always get other people to maybe try and help me create some of the visuals. But the whole idea and concept I do myself.
Yeah, they sort of help you execute them, but you're coming up with the concept.
Yeah, the concept
yourself.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah,
that's mad. So you have a new music video. What's the concept behind that? And what's the name of the song? Sort of introduce it to the listeners.
Okay, so this song is called Questions, and the storyline to the video, which people are gonna be like, what? So basically, the song's called Questions, and I'm constantly searching. I'm constantly searching for something. That's why I'm looking into the sunset. So I'm constantly searching for purpose. I'm constantly searching for purpose my whole life. And I'm fully looking around. I'm trying to find this purpose constantly. But I'm still trying to have fun at the same time. But in the back of my mind, I'm still looking for this purpose. And as I'm going around searching, I'm so content on things like money and materialistic things that I don't enjoy life. So I'm constantly still searching for my purpose in this song. And I finally find it. I find my purpose, and then I go off with my purpose, and then I enjoy life more. That's why when I lift up the thing that you do for food, I'm basically saying I'm looking at money, and there's money there. It's not a lot of money, but I'm not happy. I'm not content. I'm still not content with life. And when I lift up the thing again, there's a lobster there, and I'm eating good, so I'm more happy. So the reason why that is I'd rather, money is not going to make me happy, but I'd rather eat good physically with life. I'd rather be happy with my life and enjoy life and enjoy the things around me. So the ending of the video, the person that gave me my purpose, that showed me my purpose, we're looking into the sunset. And when we're looking into the sunset, I'm actually enjoying the sunset this time. Before, I wasn't enjoying the sunset. I looked at the sunset, I noticed it, but I was walking around looking for something else instead of just enjoying what's there in life.
Was there like a moment for you in your actual life that inspired that sort of realization?
Yeah, like constantly trying to look for approval, constantly looking for approval, and trying to, when you're constantly looking for approval and trying to search different things and trying to find yourself as a person, you're not happy, but you learn to be content with yourself and be a happy person, and just be like, you know what, actually, I don't have everything, but I can make it out. I can do something that is good for myself. And you shouldn't listen to what other people think, because when you listen to what other people think, it drags you back, and you think, oh, maybe I can't do this. You have to just go for it all the time. And that's what inspired me. And it's just like, I'm going to live my life.
That's dope. Like, I think that's great for other artists and even creatives, or even anybody that uses social media to hear, because it can be fucking toxic out there.
Exactly.
But in regards to that, was there any? Have you had anybody that's helped sort of guide you through what you're doing and help you sort of come to these realizations, or was it quite a self-fulfilling thing?
A lot of these things are more self-fulfilling. It's like in life, I feel like you learn things as you go along. Like sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to finally learn lessons. Some people learn that way, but for me, I've always had people like my mom. She's always helped me along the way, and like people like my manager Joe. He's always helped me. So I always have these things, and I have my siblings around me. So all those things help me. But most importantly, I always remember to focus and just be more positive as a person, you know, because I always try to stay positive. That's an important thing to do. Yeah.
Well, it seems like the sort of like DIY thing is like an aspect of your brand.
Yeah.
When you first got the first single, it was all about
Do it yourself.
yeah,
You have to do it
yeah.
yourself. Because the reason why that is, and that is why, because it was at that point that I realized, because all that stuff went on before in my life, and it's at this point where I realized I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do this. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to do it by myself. Because people need to realize, like, things can't always get handed to you. Like, some people are lucky in life where things get handed, and some people have to work for it. That's a harsh reality. I feel like, for me personally, when you go out, you work hard for something, and you feel better. You feel much better about yourself. It's like self-rewarding.
You don't learn anything from just getting it handed to you.
Exactly.
Like,
you don't.
When you start like facing any sort of like opposition to what you're doing, and you've just been handed stuff, like you just dwindle in the face of it. Like
Exactly. And I feel like another reason why I represent like you have to do things yourself is because like some people always look for approval from other people. Even if you're a creative or a musician in a way, like you're looking for approval in other people, and you're like, oh, you're trying to send your stuff and people aren't taking it on. You never need to worry about that. You don't need to worry about other people not taking it on. They'll come later. But if you just put out the content and hope for the best and just watch people support you, people will gather to it. It just takes time. Not everything is people are not supporting me or people don't like my stuff. No, it just takes time for you to perfect your art, and people will automatically draw to it all the time.
I definitely think like there's a whole thing where people need that instant gratification from a lot of things. Like people, oh, you need to shout me out in this, you need to do this for me. But like
Facts.
So much of it goes on in the background. Like so many people are like becoming aware of what people are doing, and you know, it takes 5 or 6 times of me seeing something to really buy into it. You know,
Exactly.
It's very rare that you hear something one time and you're like, whoa, this is amazing. Like
Exactly.
That's very rare. But you know, it's just about working hard and keeping going and not needing the approval. Like
exactly, you don't need approval from anyone, because if you feel that you constantly need approval, you're not ready. You're not ready. And if you want to like say, oh, I'm not ready for this, or I'm not ready to do that, I'm not ready to go out and do this, or oh, I'm gonna do it sometime, or you set a time in that you're gonna do something that just doesn't work. Like, what's the point in doing that? You have to do things now and do it by yourself right now, and just decide, get up and be like, yeah, I'm going to do this, and I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'm going to do it now, and that is when you'll see success come to you straight away.
Do you think that the scene in like Belfast and Northern Ireland around like hip hop in general has changed a lot since you first started out?
Yes, big time. Big time.
Because I feel like that DIY aspect must come into it.
In
one
that
of the ones that was doing it early.
Early, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. In that
I'm
song,
thankful you guys noticed.
in that song, you're like, oh, the people didn't want me to do it, like the city doesn't want me to do it.
Exactly.
Do you think that's changed now?
Yeah, of course. I think I've helped also change that perspective in my own life. Like, I remember a thing that inspired me is the time when I was in school, and a lot of my teachers were like to me, I see what you're doing. Like, I like it. Like, I like your music. Like, they were always supportive about music and stuff. And I was like, oh, like, thanks. And they were just like, but you should go to like New York and do that, like, or London. You'll blow up. That in my head, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna prove a point that you can do it here, and you don't need to go to somewhere else just to make it. You can make anything from your own environment, simply put the right things around you, and it's just like law of attraction. Like, everything will come to you. Like that's how I see it. So when my teacher said that, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it here. I'm gonna prove it.
Teachers are so important, I think. Like you remember like your favorite teachers so clearly, and like some of mine that were really supportive of things that I wanted to do. Like, it really has a big impression on you, and like I'm sure like the way you talk about them now for your music and stuff. But in regards to Northern Ireland, it's strange, isn't it? Because I feel like you're getting the vibe, like having moved here and stuff. It really feels like it's starting to gain a bit of traction. You know, it's not maybe the same scene as like down south in some places, but I think you and some of the other guys in Next Gen who've been doing stuff for a while have been important for that.
Exactly. That's the thing, and always working for that. And I see that there is a lot of other artists that were doing things, and I've always seen it. I've always supported it. Like I've seen this guy, Steve Locke. Like he's sick. Like I think people like that are really sick. Where you just see that clear authenticity. I always see that. You always see that clearness. Like I just think that's dope. I think that's dope, and the way he uses the standard typical grungy accent, I think that's dope on the beats, the lyrics, like those things I've always supported. I've always supported the other things like that, and it's just dope to see like more artists coming out, more people trying to express themselves in a way. It's just amazing, because when I started it, I didn't think like everyone was doing it. You know, I felt like I was the only one. Like, and then when you see other people around you fully starting to be like, you know what, I want to start music, or I'm just like, wow, like a scene's being created.
I feel like people are more willing to like embrace their like own natural accent here and stuff, and talk about like their own coming up here and not try and seem like American or English.
That's the main thing, and that's a really important thing. Like trying to be like American. Like I think every rapper goes through that. Like they want to be the American Eminem or like Lil Uzi, whoever it is. Like every rapper that I know just goes through that stage where they're like they want to be American. I feel that always happens. Like the American style is always included into it, but with that you can adapt and you can add your own flavor in it. There's nothing wrong with America, like American hip hop. Like Americans basically invented hip hop, you know, like you know what I mean. So a lot of these things are it's not that deep, basically.
No, and there's something. I think there's something super unique about like Ireland in terms of like it's got such a storytelling history and like of poetry and like old tales and bards and things like that, and they like internationally people are getting attention. Like might only be a little bit, but the likes of Kneecap, like rapping in Irish, that's so unique, you know. Even
different,
like Kojak, you know, he's I would say he's pretty unique as well. And it's,
I love Kojak's music as well. He's so sick.
If you do it like and be authentic to your story, you know, people are going to enjoy it. You don't need to like I can't even think of the word.
Well, if it,
exactly. Like, you don't need to.
It feels like it's becoming more of like an identity here for like that style of rap and hip hop.
Exactly, definitely. It really is.
And like, do you feel like you've got your own? Do you feel like you're coming into your own now? With in terms of your sound and your style.
Yeah. I feel I've definitely merged who I want to be. Like, if anyone that went to school with me will tell you right now, I've always dressed crazy.
Yeah.
Like for an example, right? See when we would have like what was the thing where you don't wear any uniform, like non-uniform days. Man, I used to wear like Harlem pants, like like the big Harlem pants. Like I used to wear all sorts of things, man. I'll come in with shades, and they'll always be like, "Why are you wearing that?" And I was just like, it's not everyone wearing this sort of thing. Like I thought it was cool. Like I thought these things were cool. Like I've always been that way. I've always been different. I've always managed to fit into different groups as well, because like music's been basically my whole life. Like I did an instrument for school, which I don't think a lot of people know that, because I play the trumpet. So I've got,
for real?
Yeah, I play the trumpet. Like, I've got grades in it and stuff like that. So I did that through school. So even playing the trumpet, I've just always been a bit different in that way of like my style and also my sound, because of I never listened to the same music that everyone was listening to at the time. Like I would always be listening to like things like rock, funk, and trap. I listened to trap and a lot of grime. So like it's influenced with grime, funk, and
mad fusion of styles there.
And it's just simply off what I listened to that caused that. Like, and that's why I'm so blended with genres. Like when I play the trumpet, I'm playing classical music. I'm playing like things like marching tunes. Like I'm playing all those different sort of things. And that I sort of grew up in that culture, because I've grown up like through Belfast and stuff like that, and playing the sort of music that we're playing in band practice and stuff like that. So that's all influenced me in a way.
So going back to the trumpet thing, have you ever thought about playing that on stage or incorporating it into the performance?
Definitely, it's coming. It's actually coming. It's coming. It's just right time. It's definitely gonna come. Like if you come to my shows, you'll see the trumpet. It'll come up. It comes out for at least one song, definitely.
Yeah, because it's like we were talking about. We saw Little Sims, and
that's one of my favorite artists.
She actually plays bass for a couple of songs.
Yeah, she does.
It was so cool. It was so interesting to see her just like step off the mic and then do something else.
Exactly. So sick. So
I think more sort of like hip hop people should incorporate things like that.
Exactly. Like I feel that like even the UK and in the general, like I feel like a lot of the artists in the UK, we're starting to see like more alternative artists.
Yeah.
Like people like Koji Radical, Little Sims, for an example. Like these people are really, really coming in, and that's a big inspiration to me, because I feel like who's there that I can look up to, but like I feel like you have to make that for yourself, and then seeing other people doing it while you're doing it is just like mad.
I would say like I'm more inspired by contemporaries than like people that are so far away, you know.
Exactly.
Like for me, like it's seeing other people, like even Shane from Sold Out, like him doing a podcast really inspired me, and he's just like, you know, just like a guy like me or you, like,
because it makes it possible that you can do it.
That's exactly
it. Reality.
Was there anyone in the local scene? I mean, you've mentioned Steve Locke, but was there anyone even now that you even have a healthy competitiveness with? You know,
competitive with the only person I compete with myself. Like, honestly,
yeah.
like, and I'm not just saying that as a typical artist. I feel like I'm constantly trying to beat myself and beat the next thing that I've done. Like, if I've done something before and I'm just like, this, I can improve this, and then do that, I'm trying to beat myself, because then if you try and compete with other people, what's the point? I don't see the point, because then you're gonna be constantly focused on them. You're gonna target them. What's the point in targeting them?
It's about improving yourself.
It's about improving yourself. Yeah, and I'd rather give my story like to other people and help other people and give what's going on in my life than constantly trying to tackle someone else. You know what I mean? So obviously, I'm always competing with myself.
Yeah. So going back to the London things, do you see yourself in Northern Ireland for the long term, or would you ever think about
facts? I feel like everyone always asks me this, like, because I was born in London and I lived there 10 years, like, but I feel like Belfast is my home. Like, Belfast is literally my home. Like, I've grown up through here. Like, I went through secondary school here. I did P7 here. Yeah. And so I've basically just grown here my whole life. I went through my whole like teenage life in Belfast. So I feel like this is my home. I'll consider this my home, definitely. And the culture, the people, like I'm always like intrigued by the people and the lifestyle. Like it's sort of rubbed off on me, like the hardness of living in Belfast. I just love it. I love the way everyone just like is so strong on their opinions. Like, everyone's strong and everyone has such a healthy mindset. Like, I really, really rate that. I rate their mindset on life and like being happy to people. Like, everyone's nice here.
Yeah.
Like other places, like people are like really, really mean. No one wants to speak on the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like you walk past people and if you kind of know them, you'll wave them or you say hi or whatever. Like my mum and dad lived in London for a while and said it's just a wee bit more cold or something. Do you know what I mean?
Like, not to get me wrong, like, I do love London as well, but like there's just something about this place that's just drawn me here. I like it here. Like like a lot of people over here will be like, no, I don't like it here. I don't like it here. But for me, I love it here. Like I think it's class. Like
because it's such like a young like growing scene. Do you ever feel like a bit of not a burden, but like that you need to sort of be like an idol for younger people coming up?
Facts. I do feel that, but I feel that I'm always remembering that. I feel for my life personally. I feel that for my life personally that I have a goal to achieve, and it's not for myself. The goal that I have to achieve is just like for other people, other artists to come through, like show that it can be done over here in Belfast. Like, you can actually get to a level where you can make money off this. Like, you can do this. Because I know a lot of people, like, leave school and just thinking, like, I want to do music, but, like, how do I do it? And then they just end up not following their dreams.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel that's just lack of ambition and lack of anything showing that it can be done. And I want to really, really prove that it can be done to a high level, a high standard. You don't need to go to London to go and do it. You don't need to go to do some magic course in London just to do anything here or to become a established artist. You don't need to go and shoot videos in LA all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you can shoot stuff here. You can record stuff here. You can do everything here. It's just what you make out of your own environment that makes it good.
Yeah, because we were having a look at your video and like, it's pretty cinematic. Like, I think you can. It's like you were saying, like you can make your own place seem as big and as beautiful as anywhere else.
As anywhere else, exactly. London do it. They do it in the hood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're doing it in the gutters. Like a lot of them are doing it in the gutters, and they still make, that's the London look. Yeah, they're giving that gritty feeling to it. You know what I mean? But sometimes they can still make it look nice. And I feel we're here, like always filming my stuff here. I just want to prove that like you can film videos in Northern Ireland and it will look class. Like,
well, that's the thing. Like, it hasn't really been done to a huge scale. You know, a lot of these iconic places in Northern Ireland, they're so beautiful, haven't really been showcased in music videos usually. So it's like there's so much room to do it, and like that sort of comes into the whole identity thing you were talking about, because we don't really have the same scenery, the same look to some of the cities, all these other places, and we've got to really embrace that, I think. And
exactly, facts.
You've got to make it seem cool to other people. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
With your videos, do you like trying to keep them like these like high concept ideas?
That's the next thing, because obviously I've been doing the performance videos for a while, so now I'm trying to give more thought and depth into it so people can think. I want people to think. I don't want people to just see a video and see materialistic things all the time. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I just want to give people more of an experience when they're watching a video. I want them to think. I want people to be more critical thinking and just be smarter about things.
Yeah, because I know what you're saying, because like you've got like someone like Kendrick who's like a really intelligent rapper or whatever, has like videos where it's just him with a car, like a movie, some girls or whatever, but you can have the like,
he still does both, you know what I mean?
Exactly, you can have both and still like make people think when you do it.
Facts.
I think it's important to be versatile, not just sonically, but like in terms of like the concepts and the visuals and stuff that you're bringing, because it's easy to get bored of people. Like, there's a lot of artists that don't age well because they do the same. Like, a lot of the old school hip hop artists, like obviously legends, but a lot of them don't age well. They're like Kanye, like the difference between college dropout to it's crazy, and you only stay relevant by moving with the times. Essentially,
moving with the time. Exactly, that's the important thing.
Yeah. So, in terms of one of the more controversial episodes we have, I'll say not controversial, but it got a bit of a buzz. Another Northern Irish artist claimed King of the North. Loads of people messaged me after, and it's one of them things, like, I thought it was good because it created a bit of dialogue. What would your take on it? Because a few people messaged me and said, no, you're King of the North. A couple of people said, a couple other people. What's your take?
My take on it personally is, if you have to proclaim that you're a King of the North, I don't think that doesn't make it more valid. I feel other people have to say that to you. Like, and if other people are saying it constantly, and let the people speak, let your supporters decide that. I think proclaiming it just makes it less true. I think it just really hides who you are as a person. I think just really putting your music out there and people appreciating and people saying, yo, this is it, that's the way it should be decided, not by proclaiming it. I think proclaiming something is just pointless, and it just causes a stir. Like, there's other artists out there that are doing dope. Like, I've seen a lot of like Northern Irish artists that are doing dope, like Steve Locke and a lot of these guys. I know there's Elixir, all these sort of things. Like, I know a lot of guys are doing stuff there. So there's a lot of guys in the North doing other stuff. Hyphen, my guy. A lot of these guys are doing stuff in the North. So I feel like saying things like that, I know it creates competition and all, but I think you need to be mindful that, like, once you proclaim something, it just makes it less true. Big time.
I mean, like, in terms of what we were talking about, what would you like to see more of here? Because that's something I sort of want to dig into with other people. It's good to say, it's great what we've got going on. We're starting to do a bit more. We've got some good shows lined up, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. What do you think, like, the scene needs here?
I think the scene needs more togetherness. I do agree with, like, obviously there's bits of competition. Hip hop always has competition, and music in general just has competition. I feel definitely more togetherness in a sense of working together, like beat makers, like collabing, videographers collabing. Yeah. I feel like everyone feels like they're entitled to their own thing, which I do get to some extent, but I feel like people need to collab together and just make it as a whole.
Feels a bit fragmented in my opinion.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I know of like so many talented people all over the place here, but there needs to be a bit more cohesion.
There needs to be more togetherness. I feel a lot of people, like I've seen like a lot of people want to make it seem like they're the Belfast scene or this is the scene. No, this is the scene. When everyone's the scene. Yeah. Everyone needs to remember everyone's the scene, not we're the scene. This is the real hip hop. Like, this is the real Belfast hip hop. This is the real authentic. No, I think everyone is creating the scene. Everyone's creating the scene and growing together. There's no point in trying to shine light on that scene because it doesn't work like that. Things don't work like that. I feel it's like everyone needs to come together. That's how you create a scene. You create a scene in togetherness.
Do you think that's through like groups like Girl Code? Or
Yeah, of course, things like that. Like having a girl collective is very, very important. Like I support Girl Code 100% because having a girl collective is very, very smart because then it brings all the female artists to one place. Like to one place, you can find them all through that one place. Obviously, not every single one of the females there, but you can find like urban artists like in Girl Code. I think that's terrific.
Yeah, because we were talking to them the other day actually, and they were saying, especially when like a little bit of time ago when they weren't really making that much money, and it was a lot easier for them to all achieve what they were doing because they would all just feature in each other's videos, like work for each other, and then they wouldn't have to pay each other because it was just all like one thing making it bigger.
Exactly, that's facts. That's
how it's got to be because there is like that's the reality is there isn't the money in what we're doing. And, like, there's got to be that sort of collaboration because you need to create an economy, a music economy where people are paying each other. But initially, if you're like doing your own stuff DIY, you can't really do it. And I'm sure like your early stuff, like surely like the music videos and stuff, or even Facebook videos. That's what
the Facebook videos.
Like, is that just like a phone camera?
Yeah. That was like a small camera I had. Like I used to set that up and just go at it because you have to do it yourself. You have to have experience where you fail. You have to have experience where you don't really get anything because then that teaches you lessons. What should I do next time? Sometimes someone can tell you things and it doesn't always work for you. I feel in music, not everything works for the same person. Everyone has their own experience through music and everyone has their own downfalls, I say. Yeah.
And was there you've had some decent support slots, like was there anyone you've got to speak to in the industry who's give you some advice that's really like stood strong?
Goodness. I've done a lot. I've met a lot of artists.
Or even just someone's aura that stood out to you when you were with them?
I think definitely when I met I'd say Cadet definitely. When I've met Cadet, he just, I don't know, his energy, he just had an energy around him where, like, cause I went up to him, I told him, I was like, I just love your music, man. And he's just like you could see appreciation on his face. Like he was just happy that you said that. Like he didn't have a thing of like, I've heard this 1,000 times. Yeah. You know, he had that thing where it's just like, I appreciate that. Like he really felt it, and that I respected.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace to Cadet. Who else? Coolio.
Oh, fuck yeah,
Coolio.
No way.
Yeah, man.
Grammy nominated.
Yeah, Grammy nominated. Yeah, he said to me, he was like to me, he's just like, "You're doing your thing, man." He's like, "Man, I love that stuff." And I was like, "Yo, thanks, man.
How did you guys meet?
We met like because I opened for him twice, and he seen me the first time. I think the second time he actually seen me he got there and he seen me perform, and he was just like, damn. He didn't realize because he seen the set, the band, and everything. And he was actually really impressed, and I was just happy to hear that from like a legend, like someone that's made hits. I was just so happy to hear that. He was really impressed, and he was just like, yeah, that he'd love to do stuff and stuff like that. I was like, damn,
that's
dope.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Like, I'd say. Trying to think of other people you supported. You supported Young Bane as
well.
Young
Bane was he was great. He was like he's really supportive of like young people as well because he was just like he loves supporting like seeing guys up and coming. Like he was really supportive as well. He was really nice. Who else?
I'm trying to even think. Like you see, I'd seen before you going over a drill beat. Like
yeah.
Like what do you think of the Irish drill scene?
Eesh.
Because it's super unique, and like, I know that you're into it. Like I've seen you share stuff about it before.
See, the thing is, I do respect what they're doing. I love seeing what they're doing with the drill thing, but obviously the content, I don't agree with what they're talking about. Yeah. Like, but like the cadences, like the flows, like there's something I love about it, and especially in the UK. In the UK, like. It started from like the UK garage scene and stuff like that. Yeah. Maybe jungle and dubstep before that. But like the garage, like it started from that, and then seeing grime develop into drill. Like there's Chicago drill, right?
Yeah, it's pretty different though.
Yeah, but like UK drill, they've literally made their own sound.
It's crazy.
That's nuts, and I think that's definitely something that should happen here more often. Like making our own sound. You know what I mean? Like making a sound that's like sonic like that is just crazy.
Well, I think it will happen with time. I think it just needs more people coming out and getting more exposure to people here, so that they can go and see the shows and then support it like that.
Definitely more experimentation and stuff like that. It's just it's a big thing. But the drill scene, I feel they need to definitely fix up on some content, but I don't know if it will last. Obviously, some of the tracks are really catchy. Like there's if we're talking UK drill scene, there's like Keisha, Becky, and then there's like a lot of these tracks, and a lot of them are just really catching on, and they're not really being talking about like the crud stuff and stuff like that.
Well, they're making it more accessible.
More accessible.
Even like Russ with Gunlean and stuff.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just making it a bit more accessible, because if you stick to that sort of content you're talking about, the violent stuff, the news, like the Daily Mail and all, are just gonna eat you alive. Like,
of course,
you know what I mean.
It's gonna be on you.
It's that kind of shit that happens, but it's just one of them things. Like,
do you think it's still drill though? If you're not talking about any of that, considering like where the genre came from.
I mean, sonically,
yes, it is still drill.
Drill, but like in the content, it's not coming from the same stuff. But you can say that about hip hop, like, because hip hop came from the content now in some hip hop tracks is just totally different to what it was.
That's what I'm saying. But with them sort of banning drill, like saying things like ban drill. That will not make it stop. That'll popularize it more. In that case, I don't really think drill will die. I think it will always adapt. I think it's just like people said mumble rap is going to die. Or I don't really call it mumble rap. I just call it melodic rap personally, because they said these things are going to die, but they're not. It's a form of music. It's definitely like when like punk, like all these things are subgenres of rock. So these things will keep evolving, like, you know what I mean?
Well, I think with the mumble rap thing as well, especially, I think it was just older people just like really not understanding at all. Because you've even had people like Uzi and that.
Yeah,
they're like headlining festivals now.
Yeah. J. Cole was hitting on it, and like, he's like, J. Cole was hitting on it, and now he's like,
he understands it.
He understands it now, and he's like engaging in it more.
Yeah, I think they just needed a bit more time to like maybe acclimatize to it.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. It's just like sort of accepting it and seeing. You learn to appreciate every part of music. You may not like every genre, but you learn to appreciate parts in music.
I think with J. Cole as well, he's putting out more interesting stuff now.
Exactly, you know what I mean?
For a while, because he's been listening to that.
Exactly, and that shows he's finding things that he appreciates in that music, and he's just like adapting it to his own thing.
Well, that's even like I remember when Nick put me on to like Elton John and Young Thug track.
Exactly,
Rocket Man. It's just like
it's fire.
That's the ultimate like demonstration of this.
Exactly.
This theme,
apparently, Elton like absolutely loved that song.
Yeah. Apparently, he loves Young Thug. I was just like, that's dope.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of music, like what sort of stuff are you up to? Are you just like always locked in the studio, or like how do you like to just chill out and tune out?
Well, I'm big into fashion, so I always make sure to keep up with my fashion. I had to stay dripped. You know what I'm saying? But no. I'm big into fashion, and mostly, but music is everything to me. Like I'm just always doing music. I'm always making tracks. Like I've got so many tracks.
Yeah.
So many tracks. Like even my management will say like I'll be bringing out tracks and you just be like, where'd that come from, or where? Like I always have tracks. I've always recorded stuff. I have loads of unreleased music that I haven't released.
And do you like to collab much? Like I know a lot of your tracks on Spotify do have collabs. You've got like Jasper Mafia sequence and stuff, but is it something maybe you're trying to hone in on yourself as an artist, or are you still open to collaborating with people?
See, the thing is, I am obviously things like collabs. Obviously, we decide as a team, like through management and stuff. We always decide, and we'll just say, is that the right sort of collab to do at this time? Like, obviously, I am open to do collabs. I'll collab with an artist that I do rate, I do like, and I like their vibe, and I feel our styles can match together. And I'm quite adaptable. But I like collabing like when the time's right. Everything for me is timing. I do things with timing. But for now, I'm gonna do a few singles. But then I'm gonna start. I'll start collabing eventually.
So what's your like schedule like with the upcoming releases?
Oh goodness. Schedule wise for releases, I'll be releasing a single every few months, definitely with creative visuals. That's the thing that I'm really, really big into, is just creating visuals for people to look at and watch. That's a big thing.
It's one of them things that it has to be down to a T, and people can make it seem like it's off the cuff, but like the only way that you can be successful with this shit is planning.
Exactly. Planning is the main thing. Man.
And is that something that you maybe learned, like, where before you're doing more DIY stuff, you're posting videos on Facebook, but now are you really in the zone, taking it seriously, like this is what you want to do?
Yeah. I feel for me, I learned that myself. I feel you learn strategy and how to strategize. Like you learn how to execute things properly, and timing and doing things at the right time. Like that's a big thing that I'm really keen in, because I like the full effect. I like to see a full effect. I like to see people enjoy things, and I just love genuine like appreciation for things when it comes out. Like even when people just share my stuff, everyone sees that I'll reply to everyone. Like my comment section, I just replying to everyone, because I just like anyone that takes their time to listen to anything that you post. I feel that's just so important. So important.
Yeah, appreciation's massive, and I think that it can like, especially in the social media age, it can feel sometimes a bit fake and stuff, but it's like I think it's super important to be like gratuitous about all that kind of thing. And like fans really and people like really appreciate that shit.
Yeah, it's the most endearing thing you can do, I think.
Exactly.
Like if you reply to that fan, they're going to be a fan of you like for life.
That's true.
Basically.
Like I feel like people in general, I feel like people are just people. People need to remember that. Like they're people. They're not
100%.
These people are like anyone that listens to your music. They're not a robot. You know what I mean? They're not these magical people that are just like, I'm just not going to reply to them, or I'm going to do this. I just feel that, I think that's very sad. I think that's pathetic as a person. I feel like you not showing love to someone that's reached out and showed love to you is just very, very sad. Obviously, when you get bigger, obviously it's not easy for every artist to reply to everyone.
Every fucking message.
But I feel like when you're an upcoming artist, I feel showing appreciation, what harm is that? Like I feel there's no harm in that, and showing appreciation, and obviously showing appreciation to other artists that you like as well. I feel that's important. I don't think there's anything wrong in it. Although there's in competition and stuff like that, I don't think that matters, to be honest. I think if you like something, you share it. Cool.
No, that's grand. So I mean, I would go as far as saying you're like wise beyond your years. You've been doing music since you're like 13 odd, seriously.
Yeah.
What would be the key piece of advice you would give to artists watching this? I'm not even just saying solely music related. You know, it could be anything as simple as work hard or something generic like that. But like, what really resonates with you?
I feel the one piece of advice I'd give anyone is do what you like, do what you believe in, and see through your vision. Don't let other people tell you other things and be like, oh, maybe you should do this, or maybe no, I don't like that, you should do it like that. Because don't forget, not everything is for everyone. If you like it, you find people that organically like you as a person, and being yourself is important. And I feel like don't always rely on other people's opinions to make you be who you are, because you can get really, really far by just following your own vision. Because if you're following other people's vision, you might not get there, because that was their idea, but they're not doing the thing you're doing, going out and following their dreams. And don't listen to other things that other people say, like that I hate on you or anything. I feel those things all come with learning and experience, like definitely experience. And if you feel like people don't appreciate you or don't listen to your music, and I feel like just keep going, don't stop, and don't let numbers ever do your value. Like don't devalue yourself because of numbers. I feel like numbers is only a figure, and it always grows. Numbers always grow. Like there's artists that are massive and they come right down back to zero. So just everyone starts at zero and everyone comes up and down. So you just have to remember just to keep doing your thing and make good content. Create good content. Don't do things for clicks. Just make good content for yourself. Yeah, that's it, really.
Content will speak for itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's been fucking dope. This has been a really good opening guest episode in the studio.
Some pretty inspiring stuff.
Yeah, no, it's good because I feel like that's why we wanted to get in this. It's not just to solely speak on, you know, the logistics of music and like all that sort of thing. It's to get to know the artist behind it, and like people listening to this they're going to be inspired for real.
That's what I hope so. That's the job that I try to do.
So if you've got anything you want to plug before we go, have you got any singles, anything else coming out? Shows? What about that?
Shows. Okay. I'm going to be doing my headline show on the 2nd of November. It's going to be crazy. So
where's that?
Black Box. So that's going to be my first headline show. Headline show.
Big.
Yeah. Big lead up to it. It's about time I've done one, because I've done loads of shows, and I think finally doing my first headline show will just be important. And I just want to help other people to realize that, look, you can do headline shows as well. Like I know a couple of people have done some shows. Like I feel like that's dope, and I feel like I just want to give a different experience to that, you know?
Yeah. I think we'll pretty much end it there. Jordan's socials will be in the bio. We'll have a couple of links to the tracks. New music video will all be linked. Go check out his stuff if you haven't, and comment on if you felt inspired. That's just like for real, like just if it inspired you. That's what we want to know. So if you're listening on Spotify, don't forget to follow, YouTube, subscribe, like the video, all that jazz. And yeah, it's been Dylan from Mabfield.
Yeah, see you later.
Dope.
Peace.
Dope.